Communicating change is one of the most critical responsibilities of being a leader. It's not just about sharing new information, it's about ensuring your message about change is understood, embraced, and acted upon. Today, I'm going to show you how to deliver a message about change in a way that builds trust, aligns your team, and makes even the most challenging transition smoother. Let's dive in. As leaders, we often focus on the mechanics of change, announcing a new process, announcing a new strategy, talking about new outcomes. Effective communication is a key element of successful leadership. Without it, even the best strategy will fail to gain traction. Here's the truth. Leadership isn't about guiding a team through change. It's not just about that. It's about doing that in a way with transparency, empathy, and conviction. Let's start with transparency. I've had the chance to work with some great leaders. One leader I know had to make a big decision that was going to shake things up. And instead of just dropping the news in a town hall meeting or whatever, I watched him take the time to carefully meet with his team, one-on-one and in small groups, to walk them through why he was making a certain decision. Effective communication begins with transparency. Your team deserves to know why the change is happening, how it affects them, and what the larger vision is. If people feel left in the dark, resistance is going to grow. Don't let silence breed fear. Be upfront about the details, even if it's difficult to share. Consistency is key. Communication doesn't end after one announcement. It's not a checkbox. It's not a one-time event. If you want your message to stick, you need to be consistent and repetitive. The more your team hears from you, the more confident they will feel about where the organization is headed. So you have to establish a communication cadence. Set up regular check-ins to update your team on the progress of the change. This could be either weekly huddles, email updates, or all hands meetings, or all the above. See, creating a communication routine with your team makes it consistently easier for everyone to stay on the same page. And as a result, you build more trust. Word of caution though, if you present it as something to get through or something to survive, I've got to survive this, that's exactly how your team's going to approach it, with reluctance. It's easy to get stuck in fear or resistance, but as a leader, your job is to reframe that narrative. People don't naturally gravitate towards change. They gravitate towards growth. If you frame the change as an opportunity for their personal and professional development, they're more likely to embrace it. It's not just about survival at that point. It's about now thriving in a new, exciting way. During your weekly or team check-ins, emphasize the personal growth opportunity. It may be learning a new skill, it may be the opportunity to expand their role or improve something about how they operate. Lead with optimism and focus on the benefits the change will bring them. When people see value in the transition, they'll be more motivated to push through the challenges. You also got to get others involved. One of the most powerful ways to gain buy-in during times of change is to involve your team in the process. Who's eager to make a greater impact in the business? Who wants to play a larger role? Those are the questions you got to look at in your team, because when you activate those people, they're going to feel like their voice is heard and they're more likely to help you embrace the change rather than resist it. Here are some practical ways that you can do that. 1, establish feedback loops. Ask for input from your team on how the change is affecting their work, right? And gather points of improvement. This makes them feel heard because at the end of the day, it's about adoption of the change. 2, create cross-functional teams. Assign members from different departments and roles to collaborate on specific parts of the implementation. This builds allies and supporters. 3, empower decision-making. Give team members the autonomy to make decisions related to the change, especially in the areas that affect their work. And 4, host brainstorming sessions where team members can come together to discuss potential obstacles and incubate creative solutions. There's nothing, and I mean nothing, that brings teams together more than collaborative problem solving. Remember, as a leader, you need to keep reminding your team of the larger goal and then show them how each step of the change that they implement brings them one step closer to achieving it. This helps lower resistance and keeps everybody in focus. You also got to use simple and clear language, right? That's the key to getting people on the same page and in the right mindset. And then you got to reinforce your message through multiple channels. When leading change, one of the most critical things to understand is that people absorb information differently. Some might grasp it, the concept you're putting out there, by hearing it once in a meeting, while others may need a follow-up email or maybe a one-on-one conversation to truly understand what you're trying to accomplish. You have to use multiple channels to communicate the same message, right? That's important if you want it to stick. Relying on just one email or one town hall meeting, right, to deliver an important change is risky. Why? Because it assumes everyone's going to process and remember the message the same way, and that's rarely the case. You got to learn to diversify your communication platform, like email, team meetings, video updates, one-on-one conversations, standard operating documents, a whole host of things. But regardless of that communication channel, you have to make sure that you maintain and reiterate the consistent core message on each one of those channels. The more you maintain consistency across multiple channels, you'll help your team navigate change with more clarity and reduce the chances of miscommunication. Let me close with two questions. What's the cost of not communicating change effectively? And how much more powerful could your leadership be if your team fully aligned, engaged, and was ready to embrace the future? Think about it. As a leader, how you communicate matters. It's a responsibility that shapes the mindset of those you lead. Your communications determines whether your team sees that change as an obstacle or as an opportunity. And you have the power to steer that narrative, and that's in your hands. So I encourage you to lead with clarity, lead with purpose, and watch your team rise to meet the challenge. If you found these tips valuable today, I want you to imagine for a second what a personal coaching session could do for you or someone on your team. I will show you how to effectively lead your team through change and also how to activate growth champions throughout your business who can help you accelerate the process. Follow the link in the description and schedule an exploratory call. And together we can brainstorm what that will look like for you and or somebody on your team. Okay, if you like what I shared today, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, drop a comment below, and of course subscribe. Because each week I'm sharing content to help you and your team embrace change, focus your efforts, and accelerate results. Remember this, you're just one idea away. We'll talk to you soon.